want to just jump into it. So we did an exploratory call between James and myself. And James, you said one of the most profound things I think I've ever heard. Like I held my breath and just kind of had to remind myself to breathe. He said people look at handicapped people with doe eyes or no eyes. And I want you to talk to our viewers about that. And then we're going to talk about that a little bit deeper because I think I shared with you, I had a conversation with somebody and they saw it differently than what we had discussed. So I
Sure.
want to kind of talk about some of the viewpoints of, and you can share how people treat you that and how it makes you feel, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And I want to just start out by saying that my experience is, not universal to everybody, right? So I can't speak for everybody, but I will speak for myself and just from what I've observed for a lot of other people who are physically disabled in public spaces, because I do observe and I want to watch to see if it's just me or if this is a larger issue. But when I talk about doe eyes, it's a lot of times people will assume special needs. So imagine if you saw a really adorable, 5-year-old at the coffee shop or public, and you just want to come up and say how cute they are or how special they are. Um, and a lot of times it may not be that explicit, but it can be by the tone of voice. So sweet talk, baby talk, talking as if, my comprehension is slower. Um, I've had people come up to me and just say, your life has to be so hard. I'm so proud of you just for getting out of the house. So there's a lot of assumptions that can be made, and I try to assume positive intent for everybody. I don't assume that they're trying to be patronizing or rude. I think it's out of a desire to be kind and to want to bless me and my day. And I don't think they realize how it comes across. So that's what I say when I mean doe eyes. And then no eyes, I think it comes from I don't want to make this person feel different or called out. And I'm worried that if I look at them or if I approach them, um, it might be offensive, or I think a lot of times it comes from just a place of either ignorance or naivety of not knowing how to approach a person with a disability. And to be honest with you, even I've been guilty of that. Sometimes you might see somebody with a severe physical disability and not be aware of, can I shake their hand? Can they comprehend me if I talk to them? And so it's very easy for a person in their mind just to rationalize all that really fast and then make a decision. So sometimes they choose just to ignore the situation or ignore making eye contact because they just don't know the best way to approach it. And so they don't approach it at all.
That's I want the viewer to know I appreciate you leading in with you're not trying to speak for everyone because none of us can speak for everyone, right?
Sure.
But also I don't want other people to think we're speaking for them, but we are opening a conversation to say, hey, this affects people. And there's real people
Yeah,
on the other
absolutely.
side of our actions who comprehend our behavior in other ways. So I talked to someone about our conversation and they shared with me that the reason they have a hard time approaching handicapped people, they were like, I'm no eyes. And the reason I'm no eyes is because I imagine myself in their shoes and I don't know how I would be. So,
Interesting.
do you think that that is kind of like they imagine if they were living your life because of their ability, right?
Mhm.
They can't imagine not having ability.
Sure.
So it scares them. Like
Yeah.
how you live scares them. Would you like to
Mhm.
speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I will say that I could understand that perspective. Um, to me, I would encourage that person to not be afraid. Um, because despite my disability to not have certain abilities does not mean my life is horrible. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I have faith in a God who loves me. Um, that defines my entire self-worth apart from any of my circumstances. Um, and I'm blessed beyond measure. I have a loving wife. I have an amazing family. I have great friends. I'm educated. I have a job. I have a roof over my head. I have so much to be thankful for. And I have so much more than most people in this world.